Hello, everybody. This is Katie with Ria Health, and today I'm here with Bill. Bill has been a member in the Ria Health program and has been gracious enough to meet with me today to share a bit about his experience in the program and using the Sinclair Method and Naltrexone for alcohol use disorder. So Bill, just thank you so much for taking time to speak with me today. I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely, Katie. I'm glad to.
Wonderful. So I'm just going to kick it off. I've got some questions here for you. I guess to start, can you please just tell me and us a little bit about your drinking and what it was like before going on the Sinclair Method?
Yeah, I imagine it's not that strange a story, but I guess it is when you live through it. I've probably had issues with alcohol for at least the last 10 to 15 years. They've been getting progressively worse. And I guess for the last 5 years, I knew I eventually had to deal with it, but I would be looking at things, but I really didn't know the best way to do that. I was the guy that always got the second or third drink at dinner. I told myself I only drank socially, but I found a way to drink socially every day and then probably go home and have a couple of drinks after the social event was over. So that's kind of what it was like.
Wow. And so it sounds like you were looking for a solution for 5 years, but didn't quite know which route to go. Can I ask why? Like, did the routes that were available to you, were they just didn't feel right for you?
Well, like a lot of people, I could pause my drinking, but I could never keep it stopped or change my habits. And I guess, I kind of had that personal failure, and most other routes were very public, through different methods. And I couldn't get myself to take that step. And I just really think, given my personality and the way that I am, I just didn't feel that very comfortable doing those types of things, from my understanding of how those different programs work.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people can relate to that. So what was your initial reaction when you first learned about the Sinclair Method and medication treatment for alcohol use disorder?
Well, like a lot of people, I thought it sounded too good to be true, and if it really worked the way it did, I just couldn't understand why it wasn't more broadly accepted, and why more people weren't aware of it and took advantage of it. I'm still baffled by that, to tell you the truth. But once I got involved in it and did some research, I found that it was not too good to be true, that it really was a different approach, a different way of doing things. It dealt with brain chemistry and what was really going on in your head. The description of not having an off switch, that was totally me. And I think Naltrexone gave me that off switch. And then once I had the off switch, I had what I needed in order to deal with the entire issue that I was facing.
Absolutely. I hear that a lot, the off switch comment, that's what it feels like. So I appreciate you for speaking to that. When did you join the RIA program and begin on the Sinclair Method?
Well, I started in the really at the end of November of 2018. So just maybe 4 months ago. I was lucky in that I had an immediate reaction to the medication. They start you out with taking half a pill. And the day I took that half a pill, I remember that I was having a drink, and I noticed I was sipping, not gulping, which is something that I used to do, and I was pretty amazed. And frankly, at first, I thought it was a placebo effect or psychosomatic or something like that, but it wasn't. It really did. It really helped me and gave me a sense of control. And the phone counseling with Ria also helped with coming up with plans on how to approach it. And they're also fantastic because they're not judgmental at all. It's really up to you. And I think one thing that happened to me too is within probably 6 weeks, I had reached my initial goal, which in my limited way of thinking was to be normal, to be able to go out socially and have a couple of drinks, have an off switch, and be done with it. But as you continue on in the program, it changes, at least it did for me, what your goals are, and you realize it's just kind of a journey that you're going down, and you're going down with a good team that can really help you because they've been through the journey with others before.
Absolutely. And so I know you spoke to it a little bit about how your drinking has changed. I love that you said you were sipping as opposed to gulping. I think a lot of people can relate to that. So how has your drinking changed since going on the method this past 4 to 5 months that you've been on it?
Well, I'll tell you, I think initially I probably cut down on my drinking by 80% within the first 2 weeks.
Wow.
My drink of choice was vodka and Diet Coke, and I drank a lot of them every day. And what I did was initially I just swore off vodka, and I really haven't had vodka since November. I did continue to drink some beer and some wine, but over the course of time, I went for more and more alcohol-free days per week. I had a birthday in early February, and I think I'm a big fan of IPAs, so I had a couple of IPAs for my birthday, and then after that, I just decided I was going to take a break. And I'm still on my break.
Wow.
I'm not saying that I'm never going to drink again, but it's just I've kind of learned the skills that I don't know if it's even skills. It's just things have changed for me, and they've changed in ways that I wouldn't have realized when I started the program. And that's one thing that I think is really incredibly beneficial. It is a journey. I'm going to Europe. My son graduates from college this year, and we're going to Europe for a couple of weeks. If I'm in a beer hall in Germany, maybe I'll pop a Naltrexone and have a beer with him. But it's just very different than what I expected. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm actually going at the end of the month, I'm going on to the maintenance program with Ria. And they're the ones that suggested that I was ready for that. So don't think it's like something that you're going to commit to and then just be on it forever. They're all about moving you forward.
That's awesome. And I want to ask, how have you changed, and what specifically has improved in your life? I know you referred to your vacation and, just being able to easily take a break from alcohol. How else has your life changed with, kind of taking alcohol to the front and center?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, I was really good at drinking. And I think what I mean by that is I think I was able to do it. I never got in trouble legally. I have a great relationship with my wife, who's very patient with me and my children. But at the same time, now that I'm not drinking, I look back and I realize things. Like, I used to tell myself that I drank because I was stressed and because I was depressed. Well, since I've been on this sabbatical from drinking, you know what? I'm not stressed or depressed anymore. So it's kind of like, alcohol can really trick you and play tricks on you, and you don't realize it until you actually have an opportunity to step away from it a little bit. So that's one of the biggest things. I feel like I'm doing better at my job, even though I don't think I was neglecting it beforehand, and better in my relationships and everything.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, I guess, I just want to maybe wrap up here with, what might you tell anyone who is listening to this, who might be considering a RIA program for themselves or medication treatment for themselves, and if they're having doubts, or like you said, this is too good to be true, what might you tell someone with the experience and perspective you have under your belt now?
Well, I would tell them, look, if you were like me, what have you got to lose? Try it, find out about it. I'm telling you, it's not too good to be true. I did a lot of research on the internet, never really found anybody saying anything bad about it. So do that research. You don't have anything to lose, and you've got so much to gain.